Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm very excited to be looking at the Forbidden and Limited list. This is on the 1st of April, so actually happened to be on April Fool's Day. So hopefully the list isn't too troll, but Konami did just drop the list. It is still early in the morning, I just woke up, my hair's still messy, and the birds are chirping outside, so if you can hear that, apologies. What do we want on the list? Let's quickly run through the list. I want Sanctifier to be banned. I think banning the trap. What's the trap called again? The one that summons to. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The one that summons to on legs is a bit too broken. I think you could also go around hitting all of the cards that they could summon, being like, I think it's Ido. Is that Ido, the level 7? Or they could hit Gimme Coppet, Nightmare. Yeah. Nightmare, and what's the other one? There's also Wrath Disciple. The 3 cards that can soft lock your opponent or hard lock because they can just do it on cooldown every single turn. So I'd say like Sanctify is more of an issue. So if we can hit that, that would be great. Aside from Sanctify, I think hitting the Fire King / Snake Eye stuff would be amazing as well. Obviously the Snake Eye stuff has to be hit because the Fire King side, just hitting the Fire King stuff will just make the pure one the best one overall, even more so than it currently is. And so I think a hit on Ash would be justified, maybe even Flamberge. Flamberge to 1 would be nice. Sure, banning it would be a bit too much. Maybe people were talking about banning Original. I don't think Original is going to get hit. Okay, now personally, I would love to have either Ronin back so we can make something more Toad Lines, or even better, Spright Elf. Yeah, alright, let's jump into the list. Let's have a look, okay? Alright, so Forbidden Limited list, April 8th, 2024. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, previous list will remain into effect until April 8th and updated today. Alright, cool. So we're going to react to this together. I'm going to go down slowly. So far, I see nothing. So our boy Ronin's still there. Let's accept all cookies, get rid of that. Our boy Ronin is still there, unfortunately. No changes. Let's scroll down slowly. Okay, so the first one is Albion the Sanctified. There we go. So as predicted, it is now banned, thank God. I don't want the brand players to be locking us any further because it just takes all the fun out of the game. You can't even, there's no workaround. Whereas if you get locked by Calamity, you can at least, make a Zeus, try and play on their turn. But with Sanctify, you can't special at all. So it just sucks so much more. Very nice hit. Very much needed. And nothing. Electromite's still on here. Unlucky. Sword is still on here. Makes sense. Striker Dragon is now banned. Why is Striker banned? I feel like they keep hitting Dragon Link unnecessarily. It's just like every list there's like one random hit to Dragon Link. Like I remember before it was Chaos Space, and then so I don't remember now. It's been a while, right? But everything got hit at random. Wait, Elf isn't on the list. Do you... Wait. Okay. We have Elf back? That's actually insane. That's huge. Holy crap. I think I made a post, a community post, by the way. If you guys don't check that out too often, I post every now and then detailing some of like the tournament details that I don't go into in some of my videos. But I recently did a tournament where you could bring 1 card back, and that was Elf. And now it's actually like reality. That is crazy. Okay. Alright. I will be cooking some lists. Elf is definitely going in. Honestly, I don't think the list is going to change too much, but maybe we can do more of like an IP deck with what do you call it? What's her name? With Ibli, because you can, if they crash Ibli in, you can bring it back and then link it off again with IP. That'll be insane. Nice. Okay. So nothing else banned so far. Traps, maybe some... okay, no traps were banned, which means that the remaining floodgates are still in the game, unfortunately. Maybe they're limited. With the limbs, yeah. Okay, Kirin is back as well. So the Pendulum plays, the Magic Spectre plays, the ones that got support in Phantom Nightmare, they're happy about this one. So Kirin is finally back for the time being. Hopefully they can, you know, make something out of this. Make the deck more. Okay, Ash. There we go. I was waiting for any card that was like Snake Eye related. And there we go. The first one is indeed the Snake Eye Ash. It is now limited and makes sense, right? Everyone's been predicting this one. Everyone's been expecting this one. Makes a lot of sense. Substitute is still one. Doesn't matter though. We're not playing it. Team names. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't bring Tidal back this time. Why is Tidal still on the ban list? Like, that's the last Dragon Ruler. Still not back though. Strange. Maybe it'll be in the next one or something. Okay, there we go. There is the elf. That is kind of crazy. I'm very happy about this one. We have gone too long without the elf. This card makes our deck so much better. But I don't know if it'll be able to compete with the top decks, right? It gives us a bit of like recursion. It gives us a bit of help with like those bricky hands, but otherwise it's not like game breaking, but it is very much welcome. That is amazing. Very nice. Spright Elf back at 1. Okay, and going down. No more limits. So it looks like Wanted wasn't limited either, which means they only hit Ash. Is that even that impactful? Like, it impacts the consistency and some of the recursion past turn 1, but otherwise, oh. I was talking, I was like rambling and like looking into space so much so that they hit both. Nice. There we go. So keeping up with the trend of hitting the floodgates to 1. So anti-spell is now at 1 and summon limit is also at 1. That is very nice to see. Although I feel like anti-spell at 1 kind of sucks a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because I always play around it, right? By putting in cosmics. Not that I always draw that out, but it doesn't hurt our deck as much as long as we're not running a lot of spells. Like you have starter, you can just chain on. You can maybe play droplet as well, depending on the format. And again, you can chain that on as well. So it sucks a little bit. I think anti-spell is especially good for Spright because you can always stop your opponent's random board breaker spells, right? Ignition spells such as like Dark Ruler, Dark Hole, Raigeki. Like we actually lose to that pretty hard. Lightning Storm as well. Especially if they burn through a carrot or you just don't end up summoning it. Summon limit. Nice. Very good. Okay, and as for... Oh, there we go. Okay, so there was one more small hit. Wanted. Wanted is now semi-limited. And that makes sense. Again, consistency hit. Could have been limited to 1 or maybe... No, not banned. Definitely not banned. I think in OCG is limited to 1, right? And then Speedrun Terratop is no longer on the list, as is Engage. So Sky Striker getting that little bit extra once again to try and make them a more viable deck. And then Terratop at 3 is pretty good as well. Okay. Cool. I believe Sky Striker is getting support as well. They have like 2 new links coming in soon, right? So works out. Apologies for the cut. So yeah, it seems like a pretty solid list overall. We have the Floodgates going back down to 1, the remaining ones that is. We have Elf back, which is huge of course for us. Snake Eye has gotten hit twice. These birds need to chill. Kieran's back for the 3 Pendulum players in the world. Or like, I personally will never read a Pendulum card, but like no hate, right? It's just, yeah. Striker Dragon's banned for some reason, and Albion is also banned. So a pretty good list overall. I can't wait to see what this format brings. Alright, so yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.
Ash is limited. Elf is back to 1. Ash is limited. Elf is back. I've got to check.
Okay, so quite obviously, if you haven't noticed yet, that was an April Fool's little bit. It was quite a long bit because, you know, I had to make it convincing. So I woke up at 7 a.m., decided to... I had this like random idea to like change up the Forbidden Limited list because I thought it would be a good segue to our next part of this video, which is going to be, if you guys haven't noticed, in the community section, I post things every now and then. And so I did mention that a couple weeks ago, I actually won a winner box tournament where it was bring your +1, which means any card in your deck, anything on the list, in fact, you could +1 to it, which meant that forbidden cards were now limited, limited were now semi-limited, semi-limited were now unlimited, unlimbs could be at 4 as well. And so of course I brought back our boy Spright's Elf, and Elf back at 1. If this was reality, yeah, I figured like the ban listing would be a good segue, and also it works out because it's April Fool's. But yeah, Elf at 1, surprisingly pretty nice because it opens up a lot of other options for our deck, which means more main engine, right? So in my past deck profiles, I mentioned that we couldn't really make our deck any more consistent because we don't want to really play around with the ratios of the Spright monsters. Well, we can't add any more Spright monsters aside from like pixies, but who wants to play that, right? But also like maybe we could up our red or carrot counter too, but I just wasn't a huge fan of that. And then aside from that, like the other level 2s that you can play, like you already have 3 normal summons, you could play 3 divas maybe, but wasn't a big fan of that either. But what Spright Elf does is it allows you to play a couple of other monsters, and let's go through the extra deck first, and you'll see exactly, well, you should be able to guess which monsters they were based on this, right? So the deck list is pretty similar to my current modern list, except I made a couple of changes just to account for Elf and the inclusion of one other extra deck monster. Yeah, all right, let's jump into it. So let's move this aside. We have Elf first, then we have Sprind. They were never around together, I'm pretty sure, right? I don't remember. I think Elf was banned before Sprind was released, but I don't remember. No, that doesn't make sense. Sprind had to have been around. I don't think Spright was ever, linked to lists, if that makes sense. Then there's 2 Gigantics, then there's the SP, and here is the addition, right? It's the Toad, so which obviously suggests that I have, the Swap Frogs in the deck, and yeah. If Ronin was back as well, that would be insane, because it means an easier Toad, and then with Elf back, it's even easier, but, obviously right now in Modern, we don't have either of those. Hopefully in the actual list, if it drops tomorrow, it'll be quite funny if it does bring back Elf, but quite unlikely, right? One can hope. Mannequin Cat, Mosquito, Downerd, and Zeus, the standard Zeus package with those monsters. Then we have Typhon, and then the Malfi of the Forest, Herald, and these 2 Super Poly targets. Kept the Super Poly targets in just because. I'll explain in a second when I get to Super Poly. And this deck list isn't quite relevant. I also built this like half an hour before the tournament, but I feel like it'll be like a good, fun little thing to just showcase as well, just because, I did win the locals overall. It was 4-0, and let me pull up the list real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, so I had to quickly pull up the list because I wanted to see what I was playing against. This was a while ago, so I kind of forgot what I played against and who I played against. So the matchups, according to the community tab, are Dragon Link with LP back. LP was originally banned. Then I played against Centurion with Graceful Charity. Obviously the draw 3 plus draw 3, my discard 2 is insane. Pearly with a Pot of Greed, and Brandon Despia with the Expulsion. That's the card I forgot during the video that I just recorded. Like 5 minutes from where you guys are watching now. But yeah, 4-0, pretty good. I lost all the dice rolls except the last one, which I won, and ended up winning most of my going second games, which is quite nice. I had a really good grind game for the most part as well. Alright, Spright Blues at 3, Jets at 3, Carrots at 1, Reds at 1, standard Spright ratios. Then we have the normal summons. We have Triple Beaver, very standard, and 2 Angler. And then we have the other 2s, right? We have 3 Swap Frogs. I decided to make this one fun because I was like, hey, it's, like Elf plus Toad was just such a nice fun throwback. I want to bring it back again. Because you reborn it with the Elf when they normal summon something or special summon something. And then you can also reborn it again with the Trap as well, with Double Cross. So I decided to play a couple of Flexi cards that I don't normally play in Modern. And that has kind of, allowed me to test a little bit with the cards to see how good they are. It wouldn't be 100% accurate, but it was good fun, right? I made a couple of changes to my Modern deck as well, just based on this tournament alone because of how the cards performed. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll probably make another deck profile once the ban list drops. because I'll be making changes according to what is meta and what isn't meta. And obviously that'll take time because playtesting, right? Swap Frog discarding Nimble Angler is insane. I think it happened like 2 or 3 times that game during the tournament. Sorry, it was pretty insane drawing both of them. So you go special Swap Frog and discard the Angler for cost, and then you go Chainlink 1 Angler special from deck, Chainlink 2 Swap Frog to dump, and then you can do a lot because you have 3 bodies on board with no normal summon commitment. You can also bounce back whatever with Swap Frog. It's kind of fun. It doesn't come up too much though. Then we have Meowmine at 2. So I decided to play Meowmine just because, you know, Elf is an additional Link monster. So if you're playing one more Link monster, there's a better chance of Meowmine resolving. And also you get the special for free. So it's another free body. I wasn't too sure on what the opponents were going to play. I'm assuming they weren't going to just play, you know, Fire King Snake Eye or Snake Eye pure, because that wouldn't be very fun. So I was like, okay, maybe Meowmine might not see as much play in terms of like being the free special summon, but it happened a couple of times here and there. You know, against Dragon Link, I remember special summoning it out. They bounced it back with what do you call it, Sphere, because they didn't read the card properly, and so they didn't realize I could just special it back out afterwards anyways, because they wanted to get rid of my only 2 body. Meowmine putting in decent work. I wouldn't say it's insane, like even after testing with it, because a lot of the time they actually just end up, you know, normal summoning a monster and then smacking over Sprint. And obviously because this doesn't trigger during the damage step, it doesn't actually do anything in Grave. So it's like, it's kind of finicky, right? I'd rather play like another Disruptor, maybe like Scissors. Yeah, I don't know. I'll test it out again. But like Hyperia right now just seems like the better option. But if you want to run 2, maybe you can consider EMP as the free special summon, potential free special summon. Then we have Penny and Caddy, of course, and Melfi cards. And then for the hand traps, we have 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 2 Droll. I chose Droll over the rest of the hand traps because I figured that you kind of want to be able to stop your opponent from doing all these curse things during the Forbidden Tournament, because they're probably going to bring back like a combo piece, like a big combo piece, which means it's going to be like 40 different combo lines and decks. So you kind of want cards that can, you know, stop those decks in their tracks. No Shifter because I wasn't expecting as much Snake Eye Fire King. Unfortunately, there were still like 1 or 2 players, I think, from memory who played Snake Eye Fire Kings, which is just, come on, man. you're playing like a custom tournament, might as well have some fun, but it's fine. They probably just didn't want to play any other decks, it's fine, all good. Then we have 3 Starter, then we have 1 Gamma Burst, and Double Cross. So I played Double Cross this time instead of Smashes, and just as a heads up as well, like an insider leak, I'm currently playing Double Cross in the main for the Modern deck as well, because I want to test it out. Like under Shifter, in theory, this is you know, equally as good as Smashes, because, oh, actually, I'd say it's a little bit better if you can get a Link out, right? Like if you end on a Gigantic, it sucks. You can still suck up that monster. Actually, yeah, I'd say under Shifter it's better overall, because you don't need to neg 1. Like for Smashes, you have to neg 1 in Graveyard or hand, which is impossible on the Shifter. And then you have to also banish 1 from your field, whereas Double Cross just straight up takes and sucks. So pretty solid, pretty solid. I like it also because you can bring back the Herald, which quite a few of you have mentioned in the comment sections of my previous videos, which is, yeah, always a good reminder, and I'm aware that you can do that, but I just prefer Smashes against, you know, like Rescue Ace and Labyrinth, but I haven't been playing against too many of those decks recently, so yeah. Something worthwhile noting as well, like if they Princess target your monster plus one of their monsters, you can just Smashes both the targets and it don't, and the Princess won't come out. So it's like Smashes still has its applications going second, it still has its uses. It's just not as, I guess, good going first as the trap. But yeah, it's more like a testing thing. Maybe I'll side the trap and main deck Smashes and then switch it out if I'm going first, but whatever. Board Breakers, Fenrir. I played a lot of Fenrir control. Fenrir is still such a good card. I'm expecting it to get hit on the ban list, to be honest. Maybe like limited to 1, something like that. Super Poly. I put Super Polys in, kept them in because, again, I didn't want to put up with whatever nonsense the opponents would be making on their turn. And no other real reason for it, I guess also because, yeah, actually no reason. Because like there's no other extra deck monster that I really want to put in there. Like the ones that I had so far were already fine. I took out Herald, by the way, in case you didn't notice. Herald and the Flexi Link spot, which, you know, floats between IP and Cerberus for the Elf and the Toad. So these three cards, like, it doesn't really take too much effort to keep those 2 slots in the extra deck for the targets for Super Poly. And then the last 2 cards, just 2 talents. Talents, unfortunately, I drew both of them in 1 turn once, and it just sucked. Like, it just reminded me of how much I hated talents when it wasn't live. And seemingly every time I draw it, it's never live. It's just such a shame, right? To have a dead talent or drawing multiple at a time. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's the deck profile for my Will You Be My +1. And shout out to RC Crew for hosting that, by the way. So RC Crew in Sydney, in Condell Park, I believe. They do an amazing job of hosting regular tournaments. I think they're like every Tuesday and I want to say Saturday or Sunday. I don't really attend the weekend ones, but Tuesday at like 6:30. And yeah, they're really good fun to play with. The community is great, and the pricing is always solid. So big shout out to Dan and Bradley who run the store. And yeah, won the box. Didn't get anything from it. Unfortunately, got like 1 princess at best. And then the OTS pack didn't deliver, but it's more like, you know, it was really fun revisiting your boy Spright Elf, which hopefully we'll one day see off the list, but right now is probably not the time. Apologies for the baiting, by the way, with the list, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.